good news for Ohio. Maybe we're moving in the right direction here. A judge has a heart for the LGBT community. Judge Timothy Black of Ohio has ruled in favor of two gay couples who filed suit to be officially recognized as legally married on their spouses' death certificates. And the Ohio judge has agreed to consider the case in terms of applying the ruling to all married gay couples, same-sex couples in Ohio, and his decision is expected sometime in December. The case started when Jim Obergefell, I hope I got that right, and John Arthur originally filed suit because John Arthur was dying of ALS, and they wanted to make sure that their marriage would be officially recognized on the certificate of his death. The judge allowed later for David Michener to join the case after his partner, William Herbert, also suddenly died. But, there are drawbacks. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Republican State Representative John Becker has called for the impeachment of the judge, calling him incompetent and claiming that he is allowing his political bias to cloud his judgment.
Since when is doing what is ideally right a political bias?
Yeah, he literally called him incompetent. He's obviously incompetent because he's being humane to these people who want to legally be recognized as a married couple. I mean, it's not. Why is this even a debate? Why is this even an issue? If two consenting adults want to be considered legally married on any document, why can't they? I mean, it's such a waste of legal and administrative effort to try to deny rights from these people. Every time one of these stories comes up, it's always very frustrating. At least this one, you have a judge that's actually taking the right stand on something, and it's in Ohio.
The person who called the judge incompetent for his decision, well, he's basing that on Jesus. What would Jesus do? Obviously, Jesus wouldn't allow these people to marry. No, it's not even in your Bible. Well, it is. But it's not... Look.
Not in the Jesus
anything about...
He doesn't have a logical leg to stand on, basically.
Yeah, but he's saying he's incompetent because he doesn't agree with the judge's ruling. Doesn't agree. Because, he hates gay people, obviously.
Yeah, but there's
I mean, how is this not, why does this guy have any stake in this whatsoever? He doesn't, right? He doesn't. This guy doesn't have any stake in what happens to this couple. I mean,
right?
Couple,
exactly. It doesn't affect them whatsoever.
The partner is dying.
But isn't he doing his job? The job of a judge is to exercise discretion and use discretion.
And I think that the judge made a great decision.
Yeah. Look, I like the judge's decision, right? And I don't like incompetent when you disagree with the judge's decision. I mean, if he was making a reasonable argument, like I would obviously disagree with his point, but if he was making an argument that it's not within the judge's authority, I mean, that's a different case. That's a matter. That's like legal jargon, right? But he's just calling him incompetent. It's just randomly throwing out insults. Either he has the authority to rule on it, or he doesn't have the authority to rule on it. You can agree or disagree with the specific ruling, but
right. It's just like the equivalent of calling him a poopy head.
Yeah, it's exactly what I'm thinking. The guy's.
I know you are, but what am I?
He's throwing a pissy fit.
But the thing is, obviously I agree with the ruling. I find it weird that he's expanding it after the fact. I would have liked him to expand it before the fact. It seems.
Well, this gives him an opportunity to actually do that because there wasn't a legal challenge before.
Right, and I think you're going to get into the problem with him expanding it after the fact is you're going to get into issues of standing. He didn't see enough standing in originally, but then he's going to see it later and all that. So it would be nice, but I don't want it to. I would hope that if it happens, it doesn't get overturned on something like a standing issue, which
Right. That's true, definitely.
which
And
if I was legally fighting it, that's what I would go for. Like, not saying it's the right thing, but like tactically, that would be the right way to overturn the judge's decision. Is the issue
and
of standing?
and if it does go through, of course, it sets a precedent for other, means of LGBT equality and recognition of LGBT marriages on other documents, on other official documents, which will ultimately also hopefully lead to the lifting of the Ohio state ban on gay marriage, because Ohio is one of the states that has a legal ban against same-sex marriage. But this particular ruling still applies because these couples were married outside of the state, I believe.
Right, and look, we're seeing stuff like this happen at the state
That
level all over America ever since the Supreme Court ruling, right? We've been seeing state challenges to same-sex marriage bans ever since the repeal of what am I thinking of? The
DOMA?
federal ban on DOMA. Thank you. Since the repeal
Right.
of DOMA, we've been seeing all sorts of challenges at the state level, and I think it's great. And I think this is one of those issues that is going to be pretty much a done deal, a done issue in the next few years. We're going to have marriage equality, and that's just the way it's going to be. And it's challenges like this that will continue to lead the way. And I really think that this will set a great precedent to other states that are, vehemently against same-sex marriage and have it banned within the states. I mean, once they see people standing up for this, it's going to
But
start spreading
you're
to
gonna
other states at the state level.
you're gonna run into the standing issue in this case because they were out of state. So basically, what they're gonna argue, what the argument is if I drive, I'm in New York, right? I have a New York driver's license. If I drive through New Jersey, then New Jersey has to recognize my license because of the contracts clause, right? So that's basically the legal framework that they have to recognize contracts from other states, right? Official state contracts. So they were married legally in another state, and they moved over there. So if he expands this to all Ohioans, you're actually are gonna run into a standing issue, and I'm worried now that it's gonna get, if he does rule that way, it's gonna get overturned.
Yeah, hopefully not, but definitely it's a concern.
We'll have to see
I
where it
also
falls.
hope
But
he.
generally, I still
I also
genuinely think this is a positive step. I mean,
definitely.
I don't think there's anything that can really stop this, since especially a lot of the American people are actually in favor now.
Yeah, I think at this point it's like trying to stop a boulder from rolling downhill. You may actually be successful in slowing it down a bit, but eventually, it's going to be too much of a weight and it's going to end up rolling you over. You're not stopping this thing. It's the direction that society is going in, and it's a good change, but it's a good slippery slope, but it is a slippery slope, and conservatives aren't going to stop it as much as they'd like to. It's not going to happen.
And
It's like with marijuana legalization. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
And the positive thing that you could take from it is because this looks like a contracts clause case, is you can go get married in any state that's legal, and basically you could come back to Ohio, and this sets a precedent that they have to recognize your marriage
Right.
because it was legal over there. So like it's good, but I feel like the getting Ohio specifically to issue the marriage license, right, is going to be what gets into that standing issue. But recognizing other states' contracts, I wish all states recognized all states' other contracts.
Even if, and back to Sean's point, even if they do have that challenge, and it does get, the worst possible scenario happens that this is overturned, I don't think it'll take very long for another challenge, for it to be challenged again. Because, like I said, this is the force of history that we're dealing with here. And the American people are majority in favor, and it's going to continue to snowball. So even if we take one step back, we're going to still end up taking even more steps forward. And it's going to be the law. It's equality is the name of the game. It's going to be, that's it. I mean,
Right.
it's going to happen.
So